I can have your attention real quick, my name is Jennifer Brown. I'm the superintendent at Cadillac Area Public Schools. I'm going to take you on the tour, but I'm going to lean into my really good friend Jim Neff, who we're going to pick up here in a minute. He's our historian, and he can answer any question you might have about KISS. KISS's visit to Cadillac back in 1975. If you have more recent questions about the building, Cadillac Area Public Schools, I will be the expert in that, but I'm sure most of you will have your questions for Mr. Neff, who will pick up shortly on the way to the gym where they played. Okay? Great. How are you? Oh, there he is. Oh, good, good. Very good. How's it going, Jim? How are you? Excellent. We have a big crew. I told them you would be available to answer some questions about KISS 1975. Good, good. I'm supposed to get them in there. It's a pretty big group so they can hear you because these are full speakers out here. You can sit and put it I'm not sure.
Picture of Gene Simmons leading the players down the hall. This is the hall.
Hey, Liz. Lizzie. Just call your dad. I did. In the parking lot, right?
Hey,
Who did?
front and back of your shirt, please.
Hey there. Hey, fancy meeting you here. Does anybody know a guy named Jim Neff? You grew taller. Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, it's Mr. Steve.
I don't want to get in the dirt. Sorry, Jim.
Good to see you, brother.
Hi.
I happen to have your headband in my collection, Eric.
You do?
It's
so good to see you. Good to see you.
Best. Well, everybody wants to come in the gym.
Yeah, if you can come in and Mr. Neff will answer any questions.
Dude, you guys look awesome.
We can, why don't we get everybody in and we can pose and do whatever you want.
All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, there we go. That's what a stage was.
Certainly didn't expect Mr. Speed to be here and unexpected
Well,
Mr. Street.
I didn't know that Rich was going to be here.
That's what a stage was.
Yeah, we did radio this morning.
Oh my God.
Mr. Neff? Class of 77. You bet. We'll take pictures with each and every one of you if you want to.
Awesome.
You bet.
You're still talking about this 50 years later?
No, absolutely not. I'll tell
Especially
you,
this kind of a draw.
it's almost bigger now because of social media. You know, back then, large as a phone call with quarters. You know,
Yeah.
now it's Gene blinks and everybody knows it within
Yeah.
30 seconds. You know,
Very true.
look at all the people. Holy moly!
That's a lot.
Watch these. Ed and I watch your video.
Yes, yes, it is meatball. Thanks. Thanks.
Played that.
4 years.
Didn't look like this though.
Stage was over there.
Stage was on that front wall. We got everybody in. Cadillac Vikings.
I think so.
That was the stage. Folks, welcome to the Cadillac High School gym.
Woo!
This is where the concert took place. Usually these bleachers were down. We didn't have the end bleachers back then, so you can imagine the end lines being about where the bleachers start. So that made the gym even smaller. if you can take a look here, you can see where the stage was, roughly from the edge of the KISS sign, the Cadillac Viking sign, all the way over to where those award signs are. So it's about 30 feet wide, about 15 feet deep. And that's where they played. So we actually had a stage built in. If you'll see the gray panels along the top, those were all windows back then, which allowed us to crank them open, and you could let the sound and the smoke and the flames and everything else out. People sat 2 miles away and listened to the show because they could hear the sound coming out of the gym. I've been in 2 places in my life. One was the last place Buddy Holly played, the Surf Ballroom, Clear Lake, Iowa, and this place. And why do I say 2? Because I want you to face where the stage was. Face it. Follow my instructions.
Okay, Coach.
Close your eyes, and you can feel rock and roll. Right? Am I right?
Yes.
You can feel rock and roll. And that's what makes this gym special. So we had the windows, we had the loud, we had everything stacked up on either side. As you walk down the hall, that classic picture of Gene Simmons leading the football players down the hall, that's the hall. As you passed a gray door that looked kind of innocuous, that was the power room. And back then it said, high voltage, do not enter. But of course we entered. We can't plug KISS into a wall socket, so we needed power. So we sneaked from the stage all the way across the gym and out the door and down the hall, a big cable. Looked like an anaconda. And a roadie had 2 things that looked like battery cables. And he looked at that and he said, I think I know what to do. I'm going to clamp onto these 2 things. Now I've got the rubber boots on, you've got the rubber gloves. If I'm right, we'll have power. If I'm wrong, pull me off, we both could die. So I said, okay. I was young and stupid and 28. Okay, farther down the hall, you will, right outside this door, you'll notice that there's a place that's like a double door, and there's a post down the middle. Back in '75, that was wood. So I hear a chainsaw revving up, and I run out of the gym. What are you doing? We want to get the KISS sign in. We got to cut the door. I said, don't do that, I'll lose my job. So they didn't bring the KISS sign in. We had an art student go down, make those big lips that you saw behind the band for the concert. And that's why that was the only time KISS ever played without the big KISS sign. And I still had a job. And farther down, you'll notice a place where there's a plaque. That was donated by the class of 1976, but they would have been the 75 KISS class. Okay? Because right about in that spot was offices. And those offices had a wall. And we hung a plaque that KISS gave Cadillac on that wall. And 3 months after the show, it was stolen.
And
It
it's
has
still missing.
never been recovered. Never been recovered. And no one has ever stepped forward and said, you know, here it is. Hey, mail it to us. Leave it at our front door. No questions asked. We just want it back. It's a ridiculous thing to keep because you can't sell it on eBay. All you people would know it's they're thieves, right? So the class of '76 was nice enough to do a real nice duplication of a presentation of a plaque and the story and some pictures. So that was very nice. So, you know, this is an iconic place, and I want each and every one of you to enjoy it. I know most of you, or many of you, have come from a long way away, and that's great. And I would like to take a picture with every one of you if you want to. You can take as much time as you want, walking around the gym, taking photos. Over here is the staircase where all the cheerleaders were. So you recognize this place. The good thing about this is is that even though a lot of Cadillac High School has changed, this gym has remained pretty much the same. And in fact, the guys from Mr. Speed will tell you that for the 40th, we brought in a portable stage and set it up right there where the former stage used to be. And we had we had power. And so everything worked really well. And that was a
Excuse me,
great
Coach,
concert.
I hate to interrupt. Just one quick
Yeah.
question for the record, for the history books and the history books. A confirmation is much needed. It recently came to my attention that this right here is where the snow globe finale that Kiss is now so iconically famous for first premiered ever. So, is that true?
Well, I talked to Fritz Postlethwaite, who was the head guy of doing all the pyrotechnics and everything at that time. And Kiss had done some small snowstorms before, and so this is probably not the absolute first iteration of that, but according to him, this was the first giant snowstorm. And if you'll remember, back then, Rock and Roll All Night Party Every Day was not the final song. The final song was
Let me go rock and roll.
Let Me Go Rock and Roll. So they ended with Rock and Roll All Night Party Every Day, and that's when a giant snowstorm. And I can tell you how it happened. Up above in those rafters was a big blue tarp, and they filled it with confetti. And we needed compressed air in order to blow the snow up. So the only place to get compressed air here in Cadillac was ambulances. So we made a deal with the ambulance drivers that if there was an accident, it probably wouldn't be a snowstorm, but if it wasn't, they could come here and we could use their tanks, they could take them back and fill them back up. And luckily there was no accident. They brought the tanks, they unfurled the tarp, and the snow started to fall, and they blew it out with that. And I think that's the first iconic big snowstorm during Rock and Roll All Night Party Every Day.
And you heard it here direct from the
Yeah.
source. This is where
Yay!
Any other questions? Yes.
Jim, how did you know who to contact back in the old days? There was no Google at the time.
Real easy. If you go buy a copy of Dress to Kill, and turn the album over, which is what I did. On the bottom was a address, Rock Steady Management. So I sent him a letter, and I think the letter exists in nice form, which I typed later. But that first letter was on a yellow legal pad in printing. And I sent it to them, and I had no idea what they thought. Here's this crazy person in Cadillac, Michigan, and they sent me this printed letter. Because, I grew up in Flint, Michigan, and went to a Catholic high school, St. Mike's. And I had a nun, and she taught cursive writing. And she said, everyone writes in cursive except for two people, children and serial killers. And I always remember Sister Dolores telling me that. But at any rate, they got this letter, and that's how it all happened. It was just a letter sent. You're right, no Google, through the mail.
you took a gamble and you won the grand prize.
Yeah, well,
And Jim, we saw the cool letters back and forth at the museum exhibit. You can see those.
this is Eric and Julie from Maryland. And they've been here a couple of times.
Very cool.
And yeah, you can go up to the museum, which I encourage everyone to do. And we have what we call flip books there. And all the I am not a Kiss collector. Rich Edwards, our local guy, is the
I actually was
1970s.
lucky enough to meet with him earlier.
Pardon?
I actually was lucky enough to meet with him earlier.
Oh
He
yeah,
says hi,
he's
by the way.
really a good guy. And he curates all that stuff. But I did have all the correspondence over the years between myself and Kiss, Bill LaCoin, and so forth. And you can actually go up there and, like Eric says, you can flip through those and read those letters. And at one point, a friend of mine said to Bill LaCoin, here's that original letter. And Bill signed it, thank you, and signed it Bill LaCoin. Eternally grateful to Bill. By the way, Bill is in line to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Managers Hall of Fame next month. Yeah, I got word from one of his associates, and Definitely got to do it. And he's going to mention Cadillac in the mix.
Awesome.
Any others? That's okay.
Jack is the next.
You want to come out in private and ask me questions and stuff? That's fine too.
Let him sign.